Welcome to part 4 of the series where we document our upgrades and mods that we've done to Otis the Adventure Van. This time we have some storage additions, some security upgrades, and also some off-road mods. You have found Explorer Trek Adventure with Kelly and Greg. We cover everything camping from backpacking to adventure vans. Everybody knows with van life, storage is an issue. So we've gone with the Canyon Adventure Van Doorganizer. Yes, it's a little bit of a silly name, but it is an organizer and it is on the door. This door organizer has 9 pockets. There's actually even one in the middle that has a zipper. They're fairly large. To give you an idea of what's all in here, we've got our water shoes, some garbage bags, which I think we can actually fit even more in there, sit pads, some extension cords, ratchet straps, more garbage bags, got some bungee, and of course a tire care kit. And over on this side, we haven't even filled it up yet, but we do have our poop bags in here.
The nice thing about the Doorganizer, it's super easy to install. It's got Velcro strip that runs around the edge. Put down your Velcro strips, you just add these little screws that are included, and this is basically so when there's a lot of weight on here, it doesn't pull this Velcro off. Also, the cool thing about this is you still have access to this pocket back here, and this is where we keep our outside shower hose. Super easy to put on, although I would suggest doing it in warm climates so your Velcro sticks. And we gave it a little bit of time between when we put the Velcro on, we kind of let it sit overnight, and then we screwed it in. When you buy the Doorganizer, it's very specific to driver's side. It doesn't say driver's side only, but it just says driver's side. And why they do that is if you look over here, we actually bought 2 of them, is behind here is the latch to open the door. You can see we actually offset this one a little bit more towards the outside, because what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna cut this here, here, and here. Then we're gonna roll this up, and that will give us access to this door. Technically, I mean, in an emergency, you could pull that, but if you're sleeping up in the van, it's actually pretty hard to reach that door handle anyways. So I think we'll probably just cut that one out. Also on here, this is where we keep our battery chargers in case we want to charge the car battery from the house batteries. I highly recommend these. They're fairly inexpensive, but the big thing is all this stuff used to be up in here. And once I put that all in there, I actually had this whole free space, and then I rearranged and added yet more stuff, but it freed up a whole bunch of stuff inside our box. And if you're curious, we do not have chocolate milk in the back of the box. This is actually where I keep the little 3-foot hose for our black tank, or for the gray tank. I keep it in there because it's, you know, gray tanks are nasty. This van is mostly electric, especially for cooking, but we also wanted to carry propane so we could fire our fire can. But also we're going to upgrade just this butane one so it can also run propane. And that way, if we are in one place for a long time, we will not basically drain our batteries when we're just cooking. And this is what we added, a storage area for our little tiny propane bottle. This little propane tank holder mounts directly to our Owl B2 carrier. And currently, there's only 2 mount points right here. There's an option for 2 more down here, but there's no spot for us to do it. It's pretty tight in there. I think I might add a little pad right here for it to sit on, to even when we're going down bumpy roads, it doesn't move around. There's a lot of different options for these mounts, and their price range from 30 bucks to 150 bucks. The big difference is how it attaches. And if you noticed, I don't use what it came with, and I think this mount was like 30 some bucks. It was pretty cheap. There was one for 130 bucks that had a better strap. But what I ended up using, I had these from before when I was gonna mount this on our rooftop tent trailer, and these are just heavy duty Velcro straps that go all the way around. It doubles straps, and then this is an extra little thing to hold it on. It came with 3 straps. It has a nice big heavy duty buckle. It's not gonna bend, which is awesome. It's got Velcro all the way down, and the part that actually sticks, it's nice and big as well. So when you wrap it around, it has a lot of surface area to actually stick. Another reason I'm not using this one was, well, one is people said that it actually came off and their propane tank went flying, but it requires a tool to get it off. And we're not gonna use the propane tank when it's up there. We're actually gonna take it off and put it down on the ground. So having the Velcro, I mean, it's a little bit of work to get the Velcro off, but definitely not that hard.
Next thing we added was the Govee temperature gauge. And this is so when it's wintertime, the van's parked, and we need to know if it's gonna freeze. That would be terrible if we had busted pipes.
This one has a nice big screen. If you turn it over, it uses AA batteries, so you can pretty much get new batteries anywhere. They're easy to put in. It's It's got a little kickstand. The only reason we care about this is because it's Wi-Fi enabled, also has Bluetooth, but really the Wi-Fi is what we care about. I've got an alert set on my phone, so if the temperature drops below 39, then it'll send me an alert. And what I do is I just set this thing back here, the water tank's back here. This is like an area, even if we had a heater running up front, it's still gonna be cold back here, and we would know, okay, it's time to winterize the van. There's also an added bonus. This is the Govee brand. We actually have a little small one that we use when we're out backpacking, and they both talk to the same app. That one's only Bluetooth, but this one's Wi-Fi.
If you've seen any of our other videos, you know that we only use the toilet for number 1 and a bucket for number 2. But the bucket took up a lot of space. It wasn't collapsible. So we've added this foldable toilet. The nice thing about this toilet is it is compact and it's easy to assemble. Flip over the lid, expand the sides, put down the bottom, and this is when you put the bag in it, flip on the lid, and there you have it. And then now with our storage carrier, we have our toilet bags right here. The one bonus feature of this is the opening is quite large. It holds quite a bit of weight actually. Nice flat surfaces is the key though, because it is a little bit thin on this bottom and the sides. So if you're taking it outside, you want to try to find the most level area you can. My Christmas gift this year was an option to have a warm bum. This is a seat warmer by Dometic. It actually has its own little carrying case. And you pull it out. And there it is. The cables sit right into the side. You can either use your plug for the lighter or this. You can see how big it is. The nice thing about this is that I can put it down on my seat when we're driving and plug it into our battery or in the car itself, or take it outside when we're sitting around the campfire and I need a little extra warmth. 3 different settings. Hot, which actually gets really hot. Medium, which is pretty toasty. And then the low setting, which I like to keep that on my low because it gets really hot. Size-wise, it takes up most of the seat, nice coverage. The thing I like about it is that when I'm not using it, I can easily fold it up. Nothing's gonna get lost because it's all gonna be zipped in. And then I can just shove it up above when I'm not using it. Veritas Vans sent us the Starlink mini mount, which has been a great addition because Greg has dropped this thing many times. It has both the magnet or the suction cup option to mount it. We really like the magnet. We did a full-length video, so you can go check that out.
This next one is a security upgrade. The Revel comes with slam latches, and these are pretty straightforward. They're just simple. They don't lock at all. But if we look over here, we added these, and these are metal, and they come with a place you can lock it. They totally behave exactly the same. They latch into the little connection there, but they just give you the option to lock. Comes with a little set of keys, goes into this little tiny hole and does a 180. The cool part about this is once it's locked, you can't even pull the handle out a little bit, because I was worried that you'd be able to pull the handle out and give an area for them to pull on, but it doesn't. They'd have to have a crowbar to pry this open. Probably wouldn't be that hard, but at least would slow them down a little bit if there were people coming in to do a smash and grab. The install was very easy. You just unscrew these 2 screws right here, pop out the old one, slide in the new one. We did use the existing plate from the old ones, but worked totally fine. Just make sure it's lined up because we installed them upside down at the start. These were also fairly inexpensive, so we added one down here as well, in case we wanted to lock up our Bisquick. But in all seriousness, I think it's a good security item. We have these 2 here. I think we're gonna add one more here and one more here. Not because we wanna lock up our silverware, but if somebody gets into the van, they're gonna see multiple locks all over the place, and they're gonna have to decide to where they're gonna spend their time trying to get them open, and hopefully they'll get the wrong one. Another storage upgrade we did is we put a spot for our trekking poles and an umbrella. We used to store them up here underneath everything, and I don't know how, but 100% of the time they would be flying off and they'd all end up on the ground after off-roading. So we've upgraded where we put these. We're to the point in van life where we've used all the easy spots for storage, and so we started using these clips. They have a nice surface area, and then there's like this little metal clip. They're nice and strong, they stick really well. We added another one over here for our headlamps. We had one down at the bottom, but we found that it's too low, so we added another one up here at the top. But for storing our trekking poles, there's this wall section right here that nobody can get to. It's not like your foot's gonna hit it or anything because it's gonna hit this pole. I ended up putting a little connector here and one on the other side. I have a bungee cord. Take it out and you can show you. And this is where all of our trekking poles. One thing about these trekking poles, they do have these hard ends, which are nice when you're hiking, but not super nice when you're trying to protect your floors. So we 3D printed this little mount here, and we haven't installed it yet because we're waiting for the temperatures to get up. We use this Gorilla Tape. Stuff works actually really well. You just want to not be super cold when you apply it. So you just put it on the bottom here. And we're just going to install this right down here so all of our trekking poles will have a nice place to go and they won't damage the floor. The good news is we finally finished our onboard air setup, and let me show you. I actually repurposed the area underneath the passenger seat to store all of the stuff. Let me pull all this stuff out and I'll show you what I did to this inner chamber here to be able to hold all this stuff. Technically, this is all we need to actually air up, but I do actually have even more stuff in here. I've got the manual in there, and then I've got this. This is where I keep some of our extra airline stuff. So I got this hose in case I want to like air, I don't know, bike tire up, or if I want to blow something off on the van. I got extra parts in there. If you want to use this area under the seat, you got to watch out for these wires, but then there's also this wire, and this goes from the bottom down there up through this hole out through the top into the seat. We 3D printed this channel here, and this is where that we slid. If you can see, the backside's open, and now the wire is protected and going up, and we strap the Velcro around there. When we're shoving stuff in and out, it'll protect that wire. If you have L products, you might recognize these. These are actually the hardware that came with the like the owl ladder and the Mounster box. And so we cut this Z in here, and this is where that wire comes up through that 3D printed mount. And this is what it looks like in there with everything in. It's all protected. Let me show you what we did under the hood and how we ran airlines underneath the van, and then we can show you how we actually air up. But first, let's pop the hood. In our previous video, you saw where I mounted the air compressor. Well, I had a temporary line coming off there. Now you can see the airline comes down and goes down that little hole. These airlines are pretty easy to run. It's just like a thick plastic cable, but then it goes into these brass fittings, and then it comes up to the front. I do like these ARB fittings. The hardest part of installing this airline is when we came down in front of the front wheels. So we ended up having to go over the wheel well and then back down and then all the way back, way through the back. It's actually fairly easy. You end up following the wires that they use to go from the second alternator back to the batteries, and you came around here and it runs all along the bottom of the van and then back to the back here. This is our rear fill area, and we ended up going with another ARB mount, but we ended up going with the Agile off-road mount back here. You'll notice that there's an extra hole here. They sent us the wrong part. We haven't had super good luck with Agile as far as orders, but we have that in case we need to use it for something. When we air down, we have a little cheat sheet for our apex valves, and to go from 50 down to 30 in the front, it's 30 seconds. And if we look at our front valves, you pop this guy off here, and that's it. I like these RCV valves because it doesn't require any other tool to air down. You just take off the cap, pop it out, and it's super, super fast because those holes are behind the actual valve stem, behind the core. I did this setup so we can inflate 2 tires at a time. The Revel uses 2 separate air pressures in front and back, so it didn't make a whole lot of sense to do 4 tires at a time, which a lot to do. And these are just simple 10-foot hoses. So to hook everything up, this is what we hook here. This goes to our air compressor itself. And then out from here to go to each tire. I really do like these ARB couplers because they're super easy to do, super easy to push on. There's a little extra slop in there, but they don't leak. But then there's this nice rubber thing to pop it off. It's kind of a one-handed operation. We're not using this air compressor to do the rear lock or anything like that, and so I just have the switch. It's just the normal switch that came on it. In the event that we do any other upgrades, it'd be pretty easy to add an external switch. This rapid air allows us to set the pressure we want and then just hit start and it'll fill up and we don't have to babysit it. So right now we're at 44.8. Say we want to be up at 50. We hit go and we can just set it down and it'll do its thing. This makes the air up, air down process way easier and more comfortable when you're out on these bumpy roads.
Hopefully some of these upgrades could help you with your rig. Go watch this video next. You can find us at exploretrekadventure.com and we'll see you next time.